Oh, onegaishimasu.
Onegaishimasu.
Good. Okay, we'll just find a little bit of a balance up and down.
Hello.
Hey, go. Good.
Hi, sorry to be late.
Oh, don't worry, Joe. It's fine. Start with let his heels find the ground. And start to shift front and back. And a bit side to side. And rotate it. And taking it inside, outside. Good. Take a nice deep breath in, reaching up to the top. Engine down, nice deep breath out. And you pass up through the center line, reach up, take a breath in, and engine down again. Great, last one. And just take your time, come up to center. Right. Just do a few mobilizations through the body, so just starting with the head, going in a circle. Change direction. Working down across the shoulders. With weight to the side. And change. Rolling out the shoulders to the back. And change. And alternating backwards. Changing direction. And bring that to the side. Little circles. And change. Going back. Bringing the opposite. Take into rotation. Releasing the opposite leg. And take it to the hips. Nice big circles. And change. Bring it down to the knees. And as you just bring it into knee circles. And go the other way. raising up onto the toes, sinking back to the heel. And press into the outside edges. Working outside and inside both sides. Setting to one side, rolling out the fist and ankle. Changing the other way. Stretching the leg open, hands out. Changing direction. Great. Just taking the legs out wide. Sink the hips down just below the level of the knees. Use the hands. Shift the level of weight through the hips. Bringing the hands onto the knees, create a lot of length through the spine. Draw the head out. Keep that length as you start to rotate over, look over the shoulder. Take it to both sides. Take the same side hand, take it down to the ankle, and just play here with just rotating it with the spine, pointing the elbow down, pointing the elbow up to the ceiling. Last one, reach up with the hand, just mobilize a little bit in that position. And changing the side, just rotating through the spine. And last one, reach in, mobilize. Good. Bring the hands out wide and the legs touch. Just rocking through the length of the leg. Good. Bring your toes up. On the extended leg. Settle into it. And again, just mobilize a little bit through the position. Shift to the other side. Good. Bring one knee down, just pressing the foot forward into the ground. Just first start with rocking, forward and backward. Press into that front knee, sink into the back hip. Later, find the toes at the back leg, start to bring the back knee off the ground, just float the body up off the ground. Bring the foot back, swap the legs out, and again just rocking with the foot, rocking through the hip. Pressing forward, find the back toes, press the knee off the ground, and then just float off the back. Bring that leg back, just come into a tabletop position, pressing out with the hands, straighten the arms as much as you can, and just play with a squeeze of the shoulder blades together, and then widen them out. Squeeze together, widen them out. Okay, you're going to pull up onto the toes of the back. Just first press up into the hands, pull the hips up, lengthen through the back of the legs. Keeping that pressure in the hands, just widen the legs a touch. And from here, you're going to go into a drop through a press up position. So you're going to dive through it, bring the chest close to the ground, pull the body up into a long extended position, and then pull the hips back. Pull up into that lengthened position, hinge up to the ground, and extend up through it. Like a dive bomb, push up all the way through it, nice and controlled. Don't think about the number of repetitions, just think about the quality of it. Nice and smooth all the way through. If it gets a bit difficult, you can also do this on the knees and just roll through it. This way it's a little bit gentler. So if you get trapped with it, just take it to a knee position. Good. Very nice. Good, and the last one, nice and slow, pulling up. Draw the hips back, press up into the hands. Bring the feet closer together at the back. Just start to walk the hands forward. And then bending the knees, start to stand up. And then we'll do a kind of squat variation for this. So you're going to be hip width with the feet. Just gently float the heel off the ground. Feel yourself nice and balanced. And you're going to, with the arms out, you're going to swing them to the back, drop into the knees, swing the arms forward and then pull them back to the body. So as you drop, reach down, pull back, drop, reach out, pull back. You're just looking for a nice smooth movement. So the heels are off the ground all the time. If you feel them drop back, just reach up, bring them back up. Stop the motion again. So you want a nice smooth flow through it. Nice low squat. Keep the head up, looking kind of horizon line. You do it. Okay, nice. That's it. Good. Good. And then just set into the feet, set the heels down, touch wider with the legs, and just play with a drop down now. So just really open the shoulders out, let the weight drop to the ground. Feel a nice, strong, full contact with the whole of the foot. And really releasing the arms out. Good. And taking it to a rotation, bringing the arms to the side. So let the arms swing through the front of the body, touch up to the shoulder, and release back down. And get the front arm coordinated, and just start to think about the back arm. Again, the knees open, just as the back side of the body. And then take it to arm circles, so just go straight into it if you can. Arms are splitting directions. You get lost with it, you lose the coordination for it. Just go to a basic runner swing. If you can, just bring the arms into the circles. Switch directions every so often with it. Good. And then just mix in these directions. So you've got basically an up movement, you've got a sway across, and you've got an opening up into a circle. So just play with one arm at a time, and just freely switch between. Just feel that the hip is going to give the hand the guidance for the movement. Open out the shoulders to the back, open it to the top, open out to the side. If you're coordinating with it again, just play with it a little bit. Feel that the arm's nice and heavy. Strong connection to the ground. When you've done a few with one side, switch to the other arm. Okay. Feel zero effort in the arm in this case. As light as possible in terms of rotating the arm. And then just play with both sides, so you can bring them both doing the same thing, put them together, or you can start to play with them doing separate things, doing their own thing. Just play with rotating around the core, keeping the arms heavy. And good, strong, solid ground contact. Great, shake the wrist out a little bit at the top. And set the arms down. Cut the legs a little bit. Down to the feet, shake up the whole body. Just allow yourself to come to a still position. Great, good. Take a Joe, you will. Let's have a look. Good. We'll just start with a really basic ski. So just finding a left side ski come out. Good, strong position. Find the ground with the ski, and then peel back into the ground. Good. Changing over to the right side, same thing, nice, controlled. Throw a spin and ground, and back into come out. And then just switching freely, do a few on one side, a few on the other. Look for a really strong ski and look for balance across the forms as well. So the left side and right should feel pretty much the same. Good. Now which takes a little bit of Zengo, Gary, so just really focus on the Zengo ski, sorry, focus on the rotation. Really grounding and setting up the thrust. Take your time with that rotation. Out. Out. Okay, perfect. We'll take this into a little bit of Genangaishi. So work both sides with us. So thrust in on one side, roll to the back, take your time with the strike, and then from here just settle back into Kamae. Thrust the other side, roll back, strike. Really finish at that point, take your time, and then find your way back into Kamae. Restart another set. 1, 2, 3, strong finish. And then come back to the Kamae. 1, 2, strong finish in the air. And back. Hold. Okay, so if you wanted to play with one foot, it's a little bit shorter, it's less of a step forward than you do it, and you're pretty much doing it on the spot. So the focus for this move is really this lead leg that you're entering into, and focus on that hip, and again, it's the ability of this hip to stay soft and just to allow that change of the body this way. So one problem with stepping forward is you start to kind of lose that leg, and then the body gets kind of pulled forward and you fall into the strike. So think about just going from this position, strong grounding in that leg, and then just rolling through the hip, switch the leg and strong strike at that position. So it's a little bit shorter in terms of movement. You're just rolling through that position. This, switch the leg out, and then focus on the hip work here. It's 1, 2, change, striking low, and coming back this way. Give it a try. It's a little bit more contained. More of a switch on the spot. Just focus on that front hip's ability to stay open. Into soft. Good. And then start to play with a more fluid motion. So keep that slightly more contained motion, but play with now the ability for the strike to just start to follow through. And the focus is now on shifting the weight to that lead leg and then reopening the back hip. So there's a nice kind of switch of the hip work here. So you're opening this hip, roll through, strike through, weight placed on that front leg, and then the back hip starts to open out with it. So you've got the ski, you've got this as the setup, and then roll through the hip, let the strike continue, and find the Kamae with it. So nice, tight form with it, and just again focus on that change of hip work, so that roll the hip in, and then the switch open of the hip here. So rear kona opening, closing, opening of the hip. Nice. Okay, what you want to do here is again really drive this motion from the hip. So notice this happening. So something like I go here and the hands kind of push the jaw. Yeah, and then the hands push the Joe. So actually, it's the hands doing the motion rather than the hip work. So focus on softening the hand work and just letting the hip drive the Joe through. So it's less a feeling that the hands are kind of doing this mobility work. They are later, but focus on the hips basically driving it. So it's a feeling that the hip can drive the Joe in and then really roll through this. So play with a softer hand position or softer grip as you can make with it. And it's just to let the hips do the majority of the work. Good. Good. Now play with this one. This doesn't have the retreat now with the movement, so it's just the thrust and then straight into the strike and the draw back. So it looks something like this, the ski, and then straight away you go into the get out. Okay, so there's no pull back and reset, pull back and gather of the body. You're doing this motion now, and it's so again the key is how the hip work's operating through the handwork. This and into this. So do this nice and slow, but think about just going forward with it now. And again, it's useful to work just on the spot rather than going forward because it's then to lose the body. Think about just grounding in and shifting. Grounding with the ski and then release it. Find the strike with this one. Okay. Give it a try. So it's more contained again. And there's no kind of withdrawal of the body back now. You do that within the motion of the strike. Nice. Very good. Yeah, so this is particularly if you start to feel like the Joe's quite light and there's no kind of feeling of a strike within it. Think about slowing it down and think about where the bite is in the strike. So the strike is the same way as you would land the basic position. That's the kind of finish for the strike. But focus as you do that in the motion. The strike is still there, so it's not just that you're kind of rolling the Joe back to the hip. You're really striking and following through it. So just look for this moment in the form. There's a bite in the strike, and then you flow through it. So there's a bite in the ski, there's a bite in the strike, and then you flow through it this way. So just slow that motion down, but the feeling's really, the body's behind it, and there's weight in the Joe. So it's still a strike, you're just flowing straight through it with the body. So it doesn't stop now, but it just continues. Yeah, and the kids feel some weight in it. So particularly again, if you feel the Joe's kind of just twirling around the body, put a little bit of a bite back into the strike. And the way to do it again is just to play a bit slowly. Nice. Great. Great. So we'll go to a basic pattern, look at the number 5, and then we'll take it to another place. So if you start with a basic ski forward, drawing up to the top of the head as we normally do, and then roll out of it into the strike. Make this straight away into a Yoko Minucci. So give a little bit of space. Coming up to the ski. Use this to really create the space in the top of the body, and then really roll through into the strike here. And again, that hip work again stays as the focus. So where you're grounding into the foot, how the hips operating, and the handwork's following that pattern this way. Okay? So just working with the ski elongation. In this case, just open it straight away into your comment. Then just rotates to Hayagashi. Use the same form, but play with it. Really, it's like a surgeon feeling the body. So it's like a fluid roll back and forward with it. So the movement now just has a little bit more freedom to it. The key is how again how the sensor's kind of operating through the feet and the hands. And you're just looking for a fluid motion through. So it's not quite a Hayagashi. You still got this form where you're rolling back and pressing forward with the strike. But you just want to make that pattern that fluid. So it's a thrust in. Take your time in this position, gather the body into it, express it forward into the strike. Ski, roll up, release it into the strike. Doing something a little bit more elastic. No pause in the second position there. And really, the reason to do this slowly is so that you smooth the movement out. So particularly now the transition from the back to the forward motion, really take that slow. So take your time. The ski can be normal, be like a normal ski. Take your time here. So really this transition into, so you've got all that handwork happening. You want to really smooth that out so that it's kind of freely working along the joke. So there's no sticking points in it. But again, you want to go slow enough that you can really smooth out that transition, so there's no kind of gap in the, there's no pause in the hip work engaging through the joint. So slow, you can keep everything in motion. Yeah, good. Nice. Good. Good, great. And now taking it to Hayagashi. So in this case, again, don't worry too much about forward motion, similar to with the Gerengashi. Think about just a change on the spot. So the key again is what's happening in this foot, the anchor in this leg, and then the ability of the hip to just change and rotate around. You're going from a wide leg position in this case to a little bit of a narrow position in terms of the strike. So that's one adjustment that you make. But again, just focus on a little bit smooth through here, and then again landing the weight into it. You just want the hips again to really create and operate the motion through. And then you find finish nice and calm. So really now going into a Yokomen. Striking the Hayagashi turn right over the top, straight into it. Good. 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 So we'll modify this working with the low position. It's a set that you get also in the 31 Joe kata. So it starts with a low ski going to the knee, and it finishes with a strike going down. We won't do the down portion of it. We'll go into that in the next bit. But focus on this. You've got the ski down going towards the knee, and then from here the key with this one is to again mobilize the whole body into it, and just find the strike here in this case. So you stay on the 2 feet. Don't go down onto the knees yet. Going low with the ski, and then the trick with this one is just to let the whole body mobilize down into it. Again, you're doing a second strike to the side of the leg. So it's just a modification of that position now, and the ability to adapt the movement to now a low strike. So it's exactly the same patterning happening. So just a little bit more engagement through the legs. You might want to take a little bit of a wider position with the feet, just to explore it, but those 2 strikes are basically going for the front of the knee and then the side of the knee. Yeah, great. Nice. Nice. Now. 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 Good. Okay, so we'll start taking this down to the knee now. So you've got 2 options. If you've got a really hard floor, you don't want to bring the knee down. I'll show you an option for it, but start if you can with coming down as the ski, finding the Hayagashi, and then as soon as you find the strike now, you're going to start to drop into the body. As you reach the knee down, you're in that back position with the Joe. And then this one will go straight into the swarm, coming up with the ski, and then back into the ski kamai. So really a short set comes from the 31. So you've got the low ski, you've got the low Hayagashi striking down, and then pulling the Joe back down, finding the knee in this case, press up into the foot, and then shift into the ski, and then back into the ski kamai there. Give it a try. If you want to focus on the knee, I'll show you variation. Everything's happening. It's okay. So, So yeah, do this really slow. It's a really tricky one, obviously, in terms of balance. Focus on this timing with it. So you've got the ski, this is all fine. Now focus on the strike. This is all descending. So you descend, you strike. And then as you're drawing the Joe back, just place the knee there. So as soon as you finish on the ground, you're basically ready in that position. So just play with it nice and slow. You've got the ski. This, straight into the back. And then you're ready, prepared straight away to start to step up out of it. So the key with that position, as soon as you reach the knee, you're actually already ready to spring back up with it. So you don't want to spend a long time waiting in the ground. And you don't want to be stuck in the ground as well. You want to be ready, prepared, just as the knee touches the ground, you should be ready to spring back up. That's it. Yeah, so one tendency with this is to go down and kind of collapse the upper body, so it looks something like this. I go into this crunch position. Now going up from this position is really, really very tricky. So you're like, oh, you've got to basically do this with the body. So think about being long in the spine. You hinge from the hip with it, but you don't crunch the body down with the movement. So that very rarely happens unless I'm being crunched purposely by somebody else. I don't really allow that to happen. So you've got that position. think about bringing longer in the spine. Again, you're in a hinged position with the hip, but you're not crunched down. So just focus on this case being in that long position. The top of the spine is really long, so the head's really strong, and you're looking forward with the head, not looking down. So you're forward, and then from here roll up through the body. Give the body a really clear direction, so that foot strongly up, and then you switch into the ski as you drive up. So that, again, that ski's kind of happening as you raise with it. But then just notice your body position as you go into it. You want to keep the head forward, keep the eyes forward, lengthen position. Good. Good. Nice. Oh. Good. Okay, let's do this. Just start to bring it into a little bit more flowing. So again, do it slowly. But what you want to do now is start to go into the ski. The higher gashi really shifts it, and then this can also shift straight back into the ski. Come on. So you go down here with drop, and you come back this way. Take it slow. So it's do. So all the hip work in between is really flexible. Stays engaged. Again, you want to go slow enough so if you have any kind of sticking point, or if you have any issues with balance, you've got more time to adjust, to find balance. Just see if you can start to make it a little bit more fluid now. I mean, the key is the ability of the hip work to operate freely, and from a good solid foundation in the feet, the lengthened spine, free shoulders. Nice, very nice. Good. And we'll just do one form just to finish. You want to go, in this case, one leg forward. We're going to normally do this kind of form, stretching up, reaching up, looking to the top, and then coming back. In this case, keep the same foot forward for a few repetitions. You're going to go reach up to the back with the in-breath. Nice, look up to the ceiling. And then from here, what I want you to do is start to sink into that back leg. Don't adjust it. And start to rock forward. You bring the toes up on that side. Start to bring the Jotu into the hips. And then just allow the body to hinge forward and a little bit deeper into that stretch. So you're going to reach up, shift the weight into that front leg, open up as much as you can with the in-breath. As you breathe out, bring the jaw back, start to squeeze it into the hip, and then lengthen, sink the weight into the back leg, front toes come up, settle into it, so you're a little bit further rocking out, back, reaching forward, squeeze into the hip, let the weight settle towards that back leg. One more time this side, reaching up, sinking back. Good. And then switch the legs over and set up into it. So you're going to reach up, let the weight settle into that front foot, reach up over the back. As you come into the out breath, reach the arms back over, settle the weight back into that leg, back leg. Reach the front toes up, squeeze the jaw into the hip. Press forward and down. And just a few reaching up, sinking down. Very good. Last one, just come into a shoulder width. Just release out the arms a little bit with the hips. Release out the knees. Let everything settle down to the ground. Soft grip. Just a few deep breaths, just reach up, big breath in, keep the spine long. And as you breathe out, just let the arms naturally come back down. Nice long exhale back down. Breathing in, reaching up. Breathing out, coming down. Last one. Out. Great. Good. We will stop it right there. Right. どうもありがとうございました。
どうもありがとうございました。
Great. Thank you very much. Very good.